Because while the Hawks are still trying to authenticate and verify reports into Prophet Bushiri and his wife skipping the country, Malawi's authorities are dismissing speculation that they offered the couple a ride on President Lazarus Chakwera's plane. The Bushiris have contravened their bail conditions as they are not allowed to travel outside of South Africa. Last week, the couple was granted bail of 200,000 rand each. They're facing charges of theft, money laundering and fraud. This is in connection with the alleged 100 million rand investment scheme. So to discuss this now, we're joined by Kazako, who is the Information Minister and Government Spokesperson. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Gospel, and for your insights. I mean, we just heard now from one of the journalists in Malawi, Gold Matonga, saying that unfortunately government has been muted in regards to the response. Would you say that's the case?
Thank you very much to having this opportunity to speak to me. May I have your question again? It wasn't very clear.
So you've been criticized by journalists in your country. We just had a conversation with him saying that government has been rather muted. You've been silent on what has happened subsequently with Prophet Bushiri and his wife illegally leaving South Africa to Malawi. Is that the case? Are you guys silent on the matter?
We're not silent on the matter. You must know that this is a government and a very, very serious government. We usually do not respond to matters that are just in the media. So there hasn't been any formal request from anybody. There has not been any request from the South African government, for example. We have not received any communication. We also have not heard anything from Prophet Bushiri. So we can't just respond to matters that have not come to our official desk. We needed to be moved for us to probably indicate our position.
Well then, Gospel, let's take a step back then. Are you aware that Prophet Bushiri and his wife are indeed in Malawi?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so that now that you're aware, the fact that they are there, obviously violating their conditions of bail from South Africa perspective, this must be a diplomatic nightmare, one that I'm sure as a government you do not need.
Yeah, we are aware that they are here, and we do not have very fine details of what is going on with his case in South Africa, because the South African government has not made any contact with us regarding how it is dealing with Prophet Bushiri. We can only move, or we can only react if we are officially and formally contacted as government. That's how things are. We must follow procedure. We can't just be responding to matters in the media. What if we are responding to fake news, for example? So at the moment, there's almost nothing that we can do apart from waiting to hearing from any of the concerned parties. Let me also mention one thing that probably we can respond, though it has not come to us formally, but this is coming out very, very strongly. There are allegations that President Lazarus Chakwera brought Prophet Bushiri into Malawi. That is not true. That cannot happen. It will never happen. President Lazarus Chakwera is one of the very, very few honest presidents remaining in this world. Actually, he belongs to an endangered species of presidents in Malawi.
Then, Gospel, are you aware how the Prophet and his wife managed to get into the country? If you're saying there's no ways that the president, they got into the country from the president's private jet, do you know how he managed to get into Malawi?
We don't know. We don't know. We don't know how he got into Malawi. You must know that he was living in South Africa. He started his journey from South Africa. Possibly, we also have to be asking the South African authorities how he managed to come into Malawi. So we do not know. But that he joined the president, no. In fact, Bushiri was in this country 2 days ago. That was somewhere around Wednesday. And the president came into this country some wee hours of today. So there's nothing of that sort. And this is not politics. This is not PR. The president cannot do that and will never do that. We are a very honest government. You also have to know that we are trying as much as possible to grow our relationship with South Africa. We look at South Africa as our partner. We look at South Africa as our trading partner. And so many things that we think that we can create a relationship that both of us can benefit from. Some of these things, they are not here nor there.
Yeah. Well, then, Gospel, let's do this. Let's not go on media speculation. Let us, you and I, be able to clarify some of these rumors and speculations that are in the air regarding Prophet Bushiri as well as his wife, Mary. You're saying that you do not know how we managed to get into Malawi. You're saying that, indeed, you and South Africa are partners. So then in the form of actually solidifying this partnership, the two countries do share this extradition treaty. Should the government come to you and say, Gospel, as the Malawian government, we need you to be able to hand this man over so that indeed he can have his day in court. Is the government up and willing to do so?
We have not received any request. We'll be able to indicate or say our position when we have received that request.
But are you open to it as a government? I mean, you're saying that we are partners as South Africa. We are transparent in terms of your need to build this partnership. Should that need arise? Should the government contact you and say, we need this man to have his day in court? Can you bring him back to the country? Or are we able to pick up this man from Malawi to bring him back to South Africa? Are you open for that conversation?
It is very prudent for us to wait until that contact has been made to this government. Right now, there's absolutely nothing that we can talk about. Let's wait until the South African government contacts us. We're a government, and then we cannot just be doing things haphazardly without following procedures. We are a government that follow a procedure. So let's wait for your government or South African government to get in touch with us. Certainly we'll respond. At the moment, we can't say anything because
they haven't contacted you. Okay, so I'm going to read out something for you, Gospel, and I mean, this might just also come as a surprise for you, but our Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamola, has just literally sent out this tweet. Malawi is a signatory of the SADC protocol and other legal instruments on extraditions. We will not hesitate to invoke these provisions and instruments to assist law enforcement agencies to extradite fugitives of justice. This tweet is coming in from our Minister of Justice. Has the ministry contacted you in any way? I mean, they're sending this tweet out. Has they communicated formally with you?
No.
And you're still waiting for that formal communication?
Yes, and that's not a communication. It's just a declaration. We are here. We are in Malawi. We have channels of communication. South African government is our friend. We respect it. We look at it with very high value. And certainly, if they are going to make any contact with us, we are going to respond accordingly. At the moment, there hasn't been any contact, and there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it.
Sure. Let me ask you this thing, Gospel. The government of Malawi, have they made contact with the Bushiris just to almost attain or ascertain how they got there in the first place? And also, what are they doing in Malawi?
Come again? Can you come again?
Has the government of Malawi made any contact with the Bushiri just to understand what are they doing in Malawi? How did they get to Malawi? And where to from here? Have you contacted the Bushiris?
No, we have not contacted the Prophet Bushiri at the moment. Certainly we will be, but at the moment we have not been in touch with him. And neither has he been in touch with the government of Malawi. But we know he's around. He's in Malawi. That I can confirm.
Do you know where in Malawi, though, he is? Are you aware of his whereabouts in the country?
He's a citizen of Malawi. He can be anywhere in this republic. He could be in Lilongwe. He could be in Blantyre. He could be in Zomba. But what I can assure you, he is in Malawi. At the moment, I wouldn't know. But normally he would stay in Blantyre. Sometimes he stayed in Lilongwe. Sometimes he would stay in his region, in the northern region. But what I know is, what we know is in Malawi, but to be very specific where he is, I think that we can do later. But we know he is in Malawi and we can confirm. You might also want to know that Prophet Bushiri is one of the citizens, so many citizens that live or stay in South Africa. And he's not going to be the first citizen to be needed or to be wanted and being questioned using the laws. The way this issue is being put, it's like something very, very different. He's one of our citizens based in South Africa. Now, he is in this country, and we are not hiding about that. What we are saying here is, let us have formal and official contact. We know there are treaties, we know there are agreements, we know so many things that bind us together as and South Africa, but we would not be dealing with these things in a very informal way. Yeah. We need to be formal, we need to be administratively correct, and we need to follow all the procedures so that we are seen to be doing the right things. And we will not be reacting just to media reports. These days, media is also dominated by fake news. As a government, we don't want to be on the wrong foot of news. Once that is done, certainly we will be able to respond.
Well, Gospel, it sounds like what you're waiting for right now is the government of South Africa to actually make contact with you formally so that you are able indeed to get that ball rolling. Completely understood from that. And one wonders where is South Africa in response to this measure. But we're going to leave it there for this evening. That is Gospel Kazako, who is an information minister and government spokesperson. You heard it here. They're waiting for government in South Africa to actually make a move.